Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Marvel Snap video. So today we have some news about the upcoming patch and kind of what we can be expecting in terms of balance updates and whatnot for the month of December going into the end of the year. And a little concerned, honestly. I'm a little worried here. So if you don't already know, we generally predicted the patch is going to be coming on this coming Tuesday, the 28th. That's usually when they do it. It's about a week or so before the season ends. However, we did get some update in terms of when we can expect the patch, and it's actually not coming until the following Tuesday, which will be December 5th. Now, that on its own, not that big of a deal. It'd be preferable if it came sooner, but sometimes things move back a bit. It's not that big of a deal. What I do think is a little more concerning is the fact that we went from getting 2 scheduled OTAs for the month of December into 0. And that, I think, is going to go over very, very poorly for the game unless they do a much better than expected job in terms of whatever balance they have planned for the 5th. So in the last patch notes we got almost 3 weeks ago, they basically told us, hey, we're not going to have as many OTAs. We're not doing a late November one or one in early January, but we're still planning to do 2 OTAs in the month of December. We'll let you know if that changes. Well, that did change, and they went from 2 to 0. So there are no OTAs for the month of December, and especially coming at a time where I think player sentiment is kind of low in terms of balance. There are a lot of feel-bads in the game right now, and I'm just seeing more people than usual say, hey, I'm not having that much fun playing Marvel Snap for X, Y, or Z reason. So I think this is really going to kind of show us just how key OTAs have been in keeping the game a bit more fresh, and I think they're going to be sorely missed, especially when there are multiple cards that feel like they are pretty decent balance outliers. Now, if we want to take a bit of copium here, we could say, hey, maybe the reason they pushed this patch back a bit is because they decided to make some more changes to it. Typically, these patches are done about a month in advance. They're locked in. So they usually aren't reacting to the metagame directly because by the time they're locked in, metagame might change in the next, 3 to 4 weeks after the patch is locked in. So that's something we've seen in the past, and they've directly said, hey, we're not always going to be using these big patches as a way to directly impact the metagame. We're going to focus on OTAs for those type of changes because we can get a better read on what's going on in the live game. And in a month where we really didn't have too much in the way of patches in November, and now it looks like we're following that up in December, kind of feels like we're back where the game was at the start of last year, where we basically get 1 major patch a month. And if it wasn't good, well, we were kind of stuck with it for a month. And I think that is a very poor direction for Marvel Snap to be going in. Obviously, this is due to the holidays and whatnot, not purely just like, hey, they're deciding to go back to patching the game less. Things will probably resume regularly back in January. I think it's just rather unfortunate timing, though, that this is lining up with, in my opinion, one of the less enjoyable metas the game has had in a while. But if we do want to take a bit of that copium, maybe they decided to revise their patch. Maybe they locked it in and said, hey, we're going to make some last minute tweaks. We're going to delay it a week. And we're going to hope that whatever things happen in the patch can hold people over for another month. I'm personally not super optimistic about that. Hope I'm wrong. I hope they do a good job with the patch and it makes the game more enjoyable for people. Also, another thing that I think is worth noting, which impacts, both the players and the company here, is I think the power level in the game is really high right now. And a lot of the cards coming up in December don't really look that strong relative to the stuff we have right now. And that might not be the best in terms of player experience, because when new cards come out and they don't really have too much of an impact, people either feel bad they bought a card that feels like it's not doing anything, or people just don't buy cards. People just say, hey, I'm going to save my resources for a card that feels like it's going to make an impact. And that feeling of making an impact, I feel like the bar is higher right now due to the existence of other more recently released powerful cards than it has been in previous months. So all this to say, there's a lot riding on the patch coming up. I made a prediction about it a few days ago in terms of talking about the Chavez stuff. The game's also going to be getting more expensive. They're going to be doing an additional new release. I'm going to do a different video talking about that tomorrow, but we're essentially no longer getting that off week where the season pass card comes out. That's the only new card for the week, and you just have older cards in the spotlights. There are going to be new card releases happening the week of the season pass, so more cards are coming out, and because of that, the game's getting more expensive. I imagine they're going to have to do something about that in terms of making it a bit easier to swallow for the players. And they did recently talk about, hey, we're going to mention something about series drops before the end of the year. I think that's something that we're going to see mentioned in the patch notes, along with whatever new features the patch may bring, if any. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this little news update video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you enjoying the game right now? Are you not enjoying it? Let me know why, and what changes would you like to see? If you could make any 1 or 2 changes to Marvel Snap right now, what would those changes be and why? I'd love to hear it. For me, I want to send Loki into the sun, never see him again. That's just me. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.